Katz's anniversary party.
Just coming into the parking lot.
Late meeting.
I'll take one with my sister.
Don't just stand there. Say something.
I'm going to borrow these two chairs.
Act natural, Sid.
That's fine. It's fine. Good. Okay, Phil, come on up. Can you? I want you to brush your What you need that way.
Say cheese.
What you need
Say
that
cheese.
Sit up. This is the entertainment. Sit up on the edge of the chair.
Hey, how are you?
Dear family and friends, welcome. We're very happy that all of you could join with us today to honor our dear parents. We're thrilled that so many of you who are so special to our parents, whether from Malden, from Onset, from the Harvard Coop, from Pittsburgh, from New York, and of course from Fleischmann's and especially from Brookline, could be with us to celebrate today. It's indeed a tribute to my parents that all of you came today instead of going to the beach. I'd like to take a moment to reintroduce you to your hosts and hostesses for this afternoon. My sister Mahira and Eddie Davis. My sister Yanina and Sydney Langer. And my sister Debbie, and I'm looking for my brother-in-law Ron. And of course my wife Amy over at the children's table. I find it interesting that while we always speak about honoring our parents, in my life, it's been my parents who have brought honor to me. Countless times when, as a visitor in various shows around the country, upon being introduced as Lady Katz, a perfect stranger will say, "Katz from Boston, you mean the Katzes?" The stranger will then invite me to his home and begin to repay me for the many kindnesses he enjoyed in my parents' home, which he'll proceed to tell me all about. My parents' hospitality is legendary, as is their ceaseless work in our community. What people do not know about is the magnificent way in which my parents fulfilled the commandment, honor thy father and thy mother. My grandparents, may they rest in peace, lived in our home or close by during their later years. When my Omi Katz was ill in her 92nd year, she was nursed 24 hours a day by her daughters-in-law, her daughters, and her granddaughters. My grandparents' needs and wishes were the first priority in our home, always. I believe that Chancellor Foyle Hirsch had my parents in mind and was describing their parental devotion when he described the way one should treat parents. You must esteem and honor them next to God, for only through them do you strive upwards to God. This honor and esteem should not remain mere sentiment. Wherever you can, you should give practical display of them in word and deed. Be obedient to your parents in all things. Keep them far from all pain, all vexation, and grief. And give them as much joy as you can. Show that you honor and esteem them. Feed, clothe, tend, and look after your father and mother, and wait on them as their willing attendant. Rise before your mother and father. Always speak respectfully of them. As we, their children, join today to honor our mom and dad, we are inspired by the highest standard of kibbut av v'em, which our parents have demonstrated. As in all things, we will try to emulate the unsurpassed way in which my parents lived the commandment, honor thy father and thy mother. And now I'd like to ask my brother-in-law, Rabbi Eddie Davis, to say a few words.
I like that. He gives the sermon and then he calls me up. When he dealt with kibbut av v'em, and as we know, it not only applies to the relationship between children to parents, but it also applies to from children to in-laws. The kibbut av v'em includes your father-in-law and mother-in-law. I don't think it was Hirsch who taught me that. I think it was my father-in-law. But it makes it easier, by the way, that if such a mitzvah is incumbent upon an individual, that I speak for the other in-laws here, for Ron, Sid, Amy, and myself, so-called outlaws, that it's much easier when your father-in-law and mother-in-law are treating you not as a in-law, but as actually a child. as their own child. So really, when I came into the family, it was not really as a son-in-law as much as it was as a son. So what you're having here are not three daughters and a son, but actually there are 4 sons and 4 daughters. And that's why I believe that it's so easy for us to feel that this Kibbutz of Aim is one that it's our privilege to perform, and one that we feel so rightly that it comes to us because of the fact of who our in-laws, who our parents really are. I know that when my in-laws, when they deal with the concept of mishpacha and exactly what they're trying to build in life, that they understood quite well that ben, bat, that the words, even for son and daughter, are related to the shoresh, to the root bana, to build. That they were really building a bite, a house, which also comes from the same root of bana. And hopefully, as it is a bracha in the Shema brachot under chuppah, that we really do ask the Almighty that He be able to bestow upon the young couple the that they be privileged to build from these individuals a binyan adayad, not just a Beit HaMikdash, but even that Beit Mishpacha, that household, should grow into be one of a Yiddish home, of a home that should be representative of Torah. And it's nice as we look back now, but as also we look to the future, to really feel confident that the HaKadosh Baruch Hu blessed my in-laws from that bracha, which was recited in their Shema brachos as well, that we see it a fulfillment that in our time, especially in their time, and in the future. It was also sung, I'm sure, at their Shema brachos, the Shir Malot, which ends in terms of Bani, Bnei Bani, Shalom Yisrael, the actual being able to see the children and the children's children after them, because that is a fulfillment of Shalom Yisrael, of everyone's wish. And it's a beautiful thing that to be part of, to see their wishes being fulfilled, to be able to spend the Shabbos with them as they see their children and also their grandchildren afterwards. Hopefully being transmitted, the Torah being transmitted to them as well. Mazel tov to my in-laws, really my parents as well.
Next we have for you a collaborative effort of the girls in my family. My sisters, Meira, Yanina, and Debbie have prepared, I think under Debbie's guidance this time, and as a result, Debbie is going to sing for you a little Brahmin that was prepared in honor of this occasion.
Well, I made this actually while I was down at the Cape on vacation in my parents' home, although they weren't there. And Ron and David went to sleep one day in the middle of the day for a nap, and I sat down and I wrote. And this is what I came up with. It's been changed a little by Meira and Yanina, thank you. But this is what I got. Mom and Dad met at the Wilds in 1944, and thus began the great romance which to this day endures. Through 40 years they've managed with the marriage very rare. Now truly have you ever seen a more contented pair? In 47 Meira came and brightened up the scene. She had the sweetest smile this big wide world has ever seen. When 35 young Israelites came in to take a peek, that darling little one-year-old smiled and went right back to sleep. In 50, little Yanina was born into the Henry Street house. Everyone always said that she was quiet as a mouse. When she was just a little mite and not yet very jolly, Meira kept on poking her and saying, "Mommy, Dolly." In 50, Daddy tried his hand at making statuary. Mom and Aunt Lena helped to open newspapers, there were many. At day's end, our Aunt Lena had a big stack, while Mom had managed to read one whole paper front to back. In 51 I came along, we moved to Upham Street. I never had much trouble keeping track of my 2 feet, but somehow my poor hands were never where they ought to be. I broke a lot of dishes trying to get to the candy. In 53, Dad started working for his cousin Otto. I guess his statuary business began to go to potto. Nina had a bad year too. She got her bottom beat for not requesting help when crossing over Upham Street. In 55, Navy came and caused great celebration. The Katz name could be carried on for 1 more generation. The bris was large and lovely and occasioned lots of praise, or else could one get fleishik in the midst of the 9 days. In 60, Mom and Dad paid off the mortgage for YI. They needed another challenge, so they moved here to Brookline. The YI here became too small to accommodate all of us, so in 62 they started anew to raise funds, no muss, no fuss. In 68 we built the tent behind the shul to see if we could feed 1,100 people for Nady. His guests were friends and family that came to hear him lane, to take in his bar mitzvah speech and comment, oh, what fame. In 69, Meira got engaged to Eddie Davis. He hailed from Washington, D.C., and that made Nady nervous. The first words to emerge when he heard of Meira's plight were, Eddie Davis, Washington? But Daddy, is he white? In 73, Anina and Sid finally got hitched, and Mom and Dad by their first grandson, Donnie, were bewitched. I passed my boards in nursing, as I had always vowed. Mom and Dad had wanted stern for me, but I knew they were proud. In 74, Akiva was born, and Nina got her master's. In 75, we built a new house and Aunt said to the rafters. In 76, Tamar came along, and oh, was she a honey. In 77, Devin Ron got caught in the web of matrimony. In 78, Ilana and Nomi were born a month apart. Amy tied down 80 and finally tied the knot. In 79, Yiddi Oak made Dad a hero with its cry. First American on Masada with a suit and hat and tie. In 81, Shoshana was born and Ari came 5 days after. In 82, little David was born and filled our home with laughter. In 83, we added 2 more when Shira and Tova brought nachas. In 84, we expect another b'sha'a tova u'mutzlachas. So there you have it, 40 years of Katz clan history, filled with golden memories from Mommy and Daddy. I hope I haven't tired you or bored you all to tears, 'cause Amir Tashem, I plan to do this again in 10 more years.
Tapes are on sale, $9.99. 10% for advertising. Now, my parents' oldest grandchild, Donnie Davis from Florida, has a few words to say to his Omi and his Opa.
I'm the oldest of the 10.5 of Omi and Opa's grandchildren. It is my privilege to speak for my siblings and cousins. There is much discussion in the Talmud on the relationship from B'nai Banim to Horei Haharim, from grandchildren to grandparents. We learn from Yaakov Avinu that B'nai Banim Harei Haharim, grandchildren from a son are like children. The pasuk states, Ephraim and Manasseh, Reuben and Shimon and Levi. Ephraim and Manasseh are like Reuben and Shimon to me. From Rabban, we learn B'nai Banot Harei Haharim. The grandchildren from a daughter are like children. Pasuk states, Havranot Benotai, Havanim Benai. The daughters are my daughters, and the sons are my sons.
we have a small group of the granddaughters who are going to do a little cheer for their grandma and their grandpa. Same thing. I'm open.
I had to ask my in-laws to please come up. I think I have to ask my husband to take my daughter. My mother-in-law just told me she can't take any more surprises. But there are a few more coming. I'm getting back at you for all the surprises you gave us. When we were trying to decide what kind of a gift we could give you, we felt that the best gift we could give you was all of us. And so we all are here, and many of us could not be here. But we wanted to give you more than the one-time occasion of our being together today, even though we know the memories would linger. We wanted to give you something which would express our deepest emotions to you as your friends and as your family. And I am presenting you with a special book. 40 years of memories we have compiled, spanning the time from your marriage to grandchild. Within these pages, your life together unfolds, and through pictures and highlights, your story is told. The milestones, the antics, the high points, the low. They're all here recounted in photo and prose. Some may bring a chuckle, others may bring a tear, yet they're part of the past that brings us all here. But anniversaries mark more than just the past. They're harbingers of the future and love that will last. And so we've linked what was with what we hope will be, and included wishes from your friends and family. This is a special memory book which we know will give you hours and hours of interested reading. Wonderful for Friday night, wonderful for late when you finish with your work. I hope that you will read it, enjoy it, and think of all of us. This includes the people who are here today and the people who could not come. Thank you all very much for your contributions. Guys, I'm sorry.
Give us about 30 seconds, we'll be ready.
That's it. That's it. We got it. Oh, that's better. Focus.
For you with a few shorts and she's very short. The entire program is called Scenes from a Marriage. It's produced by Amy and Katz, and we want to introduce our cast of characters. On the right is my mom. There's my mom again. Guess who that is on the left?
Opa.
That's Dad.
Where's the photographer now? Get a picture of Opa.
Never won a competition. Here he is by himself.
Oh.
That's the last book he read.
There they are together, Mom and Dad. And I don't have to tell you who they are. And that's a little bit of the extended family. And that comprises our cast of characters. Now, our first short, is titled The Yeki. Now, you want to know what a Yeki is? A Yeki is a German Jew. These are Yekis. At my grandfather Oliver Shalom's 70th birthday party. Now, this man here looks like a Yeki. It's the middle of the summer. He's pretty well buttoned up, wouldn't you say? Now, a Yeki always wears a jacket. Even when he goes to a picnic, he has to wear a 3-piece suit. And a tie. And a Yeki, as you by now figured out, always dresses formally. Mom and Dad getting ready to go out on a Saturday night. And as I'm sure you've by now figured out also, a Yeki will always smile for a picture if you look at my dad right here. As I'm sure a lot of you know Yekis, for probably most of your lives, you know that they always show their best face in public. I hope Uncle Dave, may he rest in peace, will forgive me for this 1945 picture. They're romantics, these German Jews are, and they know how to show a girl a good time. And as was alluded to in a previous slide, only a Yeki climbs Masada with a shirt and tie and jacket, and it's 98 degrees in the shade. Okay, that's the end of our first short. Our next short is Mission Impossible. It was 1943. Mom was confronted with a mission impossible. Take this man and de-Yekify him. At first, the going was slow, as she rarely got a word in edgewise. So Mom tried a new strategy. He's laughing, huh? Not satisfied yet with her success, my mom decided to go to her mom, our mama, Alaha Shalom, for some advice. There resulted a new and more obvious strategy, which also, for obvious reasons, I will run through rather quickly. There they are in a paddle boat, my dad and his foster grands. Cool, huh? Mom decided to shake Dad up.
Oh, really?
And she found a handsome American soldier. But that didn't bother my dad. You know what he did, don't you? He found the soldier a girlfriend. Then Mom tried a picnic in the park, but Dad wouldn't let go of his hat. Finally, Mom began to succeed. First, the tie came off. Then, can you wait? The shirt came off. sorry. Unfortunately, the next 3 slides have been censored. Now, our last short is called the Katz Hotel. You all know where that is? It's right here, in Vlieden by Fulda. Your host and hostess at the hotel, none other than... Now, if you have difficulty reaching the Katz Hotel at 734-2188, it's because our reservation lines are usually busy. Personal service is our trademark. Each guest is greeted personally. We feature a world-renowned social director. All of our blue ribbon food is taste tested by our gourmet chefs. The rooms are immaculate due to our first-class maid service. Sorry about that, Mom and Dad. You think that's good? Our security service is second to none. It includes nightly bed checks for our younger guests. Our grand ballroom is the site for many, you can guess, political fundraisers. Anybody recognize the pair with my mom and dad? Hey.
Who is it?
Our babysitting service at the Katz Hotel is very reliable.
It must be one of those teeny weeny lights.
The hotel features big name entertainment nightly. The Rockettes, whoop, sorry about that. The Rockettes, Tamar, Shoshana, Ilana, and monogram socks. The Katz. Aren't you glad you didn't have to hear us sing today? In a word, our entire staff stands ready to serve you. To conclude our show, we only want to add, Mom and Dad, we love you very, very much.